Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Fred Warner, linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. Abercrombie has the new suits you need, plus all the collared shirts to go with them. The Abercrombie & Fitch Collins suit is the only suit you'll ever need for any occasion. Available in slim, classic, and athletic. Pair with a collared classic. Go with a soft, easy-to-wear sweater polo or a comfortable long-sleeve shirt. With so many different fits and fabrics, you can make a look that's completely your own. Add the Abercrombie & Fitch Collins suit and new collared shirts to every occasion this season. Shop online or in store.
Business taxes. We're stressing about all the time and all the money you spent on your taxes.
This is my bill?
Now Business Taxes is a TurboTax small business expert who does your taxes for you and offers year-round advice at no additional cost, so you can keep more money in your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com/business. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
Oh, howdy there, folks. Lester's is proud to present the Possum Posse Jamboree. Here it is.
You're listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast with the Rotoscopers, episode 213, behind the scenes of Lester's Possum Park Fan Edition. Welcome to the Animation Addicts Podcast with the Rotoscopers, the #1 place to get your animation fix with animation addicts just like you. Each episode, we dive into the wonderful world of animation featuring Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar, and everything in between. From hilarious discussions and movie reviews to interviews with industry insiders, this show's mission is to brighten your day through our love of animation. So hop on your nerdy couch, grab some snacks, and get ready to hang out with your animation besties because it's time to dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Animation Addicts Podcast. My name is Chelsea Robson, and I have a friend. His name is Ted Sowards, and about 11 years ago, before I really even knew him, he had a goal to do a live-action version with all of his friends of the song After Today from the Goofy movie. It became a huge success online, went viral, and it has today over 7 million views, which I think is pretty amazing. And he decided that he wanted to be able to do it again, except this time he really did up the ante. And if you're able to go and watch this video, it's so cool because he did all of the animation for it. And he was able to get the director, Kevin Lima, to be the leader of Lester's Possum Part, here it is, guy. And he ended up getting the real voice actors, Bill Farmer and Jason Marsden, to come in and play their characters in this live action version. And I had no idea this was going to be happening. He just called me the night before and said, hey, we're going to be doing this. Do you want to join? And him just being one of my good friends now, I was like, yeah, I want to be involved in whatever you're doing. And then I get there and not only is Bill Farmer there, like what? And then also walks in Jason Marsden. So I'm like, this is pretty epic. And so at the very last minute, after all the filming was done, I asked if they would be willing to just kind of sit around and do a little bit of a chat. So yeah, that's what we did. And so that is the backstory of this pseudo interview. It is an interview, but at the same time, we just kind of turned on our phones I had my phone recording the memo, and Ted was also recording voice memo on his. And so in this edit, I went in and I put my edit on one side and his on the other side, because he was closer to Bill and I was closer to Jason. And so it creates a little bit of a surround sound experience. However, there is a couple places where Ted's microphone got turned off, and so you'll only be hearing it on one side, but then it will come back and you'll be able to hear both sides again for the rest of it. So I'm excited about this. This is honestly just everybody kicking back after a fun day of filming and doing just something really cool. And they're just such gracious people to be able to come out. They both did this for free. It was just a fan thing that they came down and are like, yeah, we want to be a part of this fun thing that keeps living on. And just sat around and we chatted. So you are going to be a fly on the wall in this conversation. If you are a patron, I am basically going to slap it all down there and you get the full edit. I'm not going to edit it at all. It's just when I started recording is when you will hear it. And when I turned it off is also where you're going to hear it. So make sure you go to rotoscopers.com/patron or rotoscopers.com/Patreon to be able to join in, and you'll be able to get full access to the full interview. It's fun and you should enjoy it. All right, let's jump on in.
This episode is brought to you by Audi. The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the all-new, fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. It's not just a new EV, it's a new way to experience driving. The all-new, fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron is here. The next chapter of Audi starts now.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
Make your next move with American Express Business Platinum. You'll get 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Plus, enjoy access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection. And with the welcome offer of 150,000 points, your business can soar to all new heights. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum. Amex Business Platinum. Built for business by American Express.
Hey, Lester. Ready for yodeling?
Sure am, Buford. Now gather round, my possum pals. Join the jamboree. Come hoot and howl and holler from the heart.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rotoscopers YouTube channel. I have the great opportunity to be able to introduce some of my favorite people today. First, we have Ted Sowards. He is putting together a live-action version of the Goofy movie. And we first had his first take of this was about 13 years ago. So we're back. And of course, because he did such a great job, we leveled up and he was able to get the actual voices for Goofy and Max. So we're pretty excited to be here today.
Yeah. I was like, where do you want to start?
Go for it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like 13 years ago when we did After Today, we were huge fans of a Goofy movie, and we wanted to do a recreation of something, and, you know, everything else seemed to be out of our reach, and we're like, wait, you know, Max is just a kid walking to school. We walk to school. Like,
and that's how it came about.
It was like, because it was so relatable, and, like, yeah, we loved it from the very beginning, and so we made the shot to shot and not having any idea how far it would go or how big it would go. And it was when we finally got to meet you, Bill, at it was one of the D23s.
Yeah.
I was upstairs. My brother Rex was downstairs, and your wife ran into him. But Rex tells the story better.
Yeah, so we were just walking around. We were all wearing After Today shirts that we made that had a QR code so people could just scan it and go watch the YouTube video.
Nice.
And trying to promote our YouTube video of how big it was and everything. And suddenly this lady stops me in the middle of everything, and she goes, "Did you work on this video?" And I was like, "Yeah, we did. Yeah, I'm one of the creators of it." And she goes, "You have to meet my husband." And I'm like, I don't know why I asked, but I asked, "Who's your husband?" And she's like, "Bill Farmer." And I'm immediately like, as she's dragging me across the convention center, being like, "Ted, get down here!" And you were sitting at a table signing autographs. And from my memory, your wife comes up, pushes everybody out of the way and goes, "These are the boys that created that YouTube video." And it was amazing. We actually have video up on Facebook of, that we posted of here's this meeting Bill Farmer.
Gosh, yeah, it was, ever since I saw the video on YouTube, people had talked about it. "Oh, have you seen the live action video?" And no, finally I did, and I was just blown away by it because you had the animated movie kind of in a corner screen and the live action, and the shots were immaculate. They were matching exactly word to word, and I was just blown away by the talent. And so when you called and said, would you be interested in doing this? Yes. And would you like Jason? Have you talked to him? Yeah. Well, we'll do that. And here we are.
And here he is.
Here he is.
And even, at the time, we first, because we were like, with the first video, we were like, well, let's get Bill to be Goofy in it. And we had no idea how to contact you then, at that time. And when we finally met you, we said that, and you're like, well, I would have done it.
Yeah,
that blew our little minds. And then we met Jason at another D23 at the 20th anniversary one.
Yes, that was a good time.
It was amazing. That hall was packed.
Yes.
Yeah.
With people still wanting to get in that they wouldn't let in.
Yeah, we felt like the Beatles.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I measured it was 2 minutes and 40-some seconds standing ovation at the end of the thing. So they must have really liked, and we were the number one highest rated panel. And before that, our panel wasn't even rated in the top 10 that you should see.
Really?
But we were number one, and we beat out the Star Wars panel, and they had George Lucas and Harrison Ford.
Once again, Uncle Disney doesn't believe in us.
Right. It's the little movie that could. Right. It really is.
I think it is. There's more people every year that love a Goofy movie. It only grows.
Yeah.
So it seems.
It really does.
And that's, I mean, you Wordsmere you watched it, and then you grow up and you show it to your kids, and they seem to dig it. I'm pleased that it stands the test of time.
Yeah, and it's been 26 years, something like that, since it came out, and now we're getting, dads. I saw it when I was a kid, which makes me feel old, and now my kid, we watch it together, and so many people have said, I couldn't talk to my father till that movie came out, and it kind of brought us together, and that's really the special part of it.
Yeah. Wow. That is really cool. So that's kind of how this whole thing moved forward. What made you want to go ahead and make Lester's Possum?
We always wanted to do another one from a Goofy movie because we love it so much. We thought about Open Road, and I thought, okay, a whole bunch of cars in front of green screens because, we have no budget. We have nothing. I work at a college. Rex works at a battery company and gets to help design and produce the videos, and it was so we just have to do what we can do, but we still want to be doing these things. And we thought, my brain runs faster than my mouth can. So with Lester's, I had just read a book recently that was find your zone of genius and kind of thing, and I was like, well, I'm not really satisfied at work right now. Where do I want to be? And I want to be on an animation team that is animating. I'd rather leave the college behind and go animate on a team. And so I was like, okay, be doing that now. So I started modeling Lester and going more and more, building the mound and then the stage and then the other characters. And I was like, we can do this. This is in our reach. So and then we reached out, and you guys were excited too.
Well, you showed me a test of it, and I was completely blown away.
It's just the quality and the love that you put into your work. It shows. I'm honored to be here. So.
I called your college and told them to fire you. I'm like, you don't want this guy anymore. He's way beyond.
Way beyond you guys.
Oh, that's amazing. So, as you guys...
Did I call this college?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now that we know who to blame for this whole thing. So as we've gone through today, we were able to find different people that kind of matched everybody from Lester's Possum Farm. And I was wonderful. Like 2 days ago, Ted, you texted me. You're like, "Hey, we're going to be doing this." You did not mention that they were going to be here at all, and you're just like, "Hey, we're going to be doing this." And I, just from that first one, knowing 13 years ago what you guys did, I was like, I want to be a part of something Ted does. Let's do that. So I showed up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this whole. Everybody's here." I'm like, well, dang.
It's a thing.
This is a thing. Yeah. And so what are some things that after this project goes, is there another project that you've got on the mind to move forward?
Well, there's several. There's 2 Schoolhouse Rock videos.
Oh, nice.
That we'd want to make. I'm Just a Bill would be a lot of fun. Go film on Capitol Hill and have like a real boy in like a CG paper character, or like Conjunction Junction would be a lot of fun.
Ted's already been modeling out trains and train tracks and stuff for Conjunction Junction.
Outstanding.
And then it would be really fun to do the opening of Bob's Burgers, but with Kristen Shaw being every single character in the shot.
Cool.
If you're watching, Kristen, you really should jump on the screen.
Opportunity awaits.
I love it. Okay, so from here, what is everybody doing that we can help promote as well? So you guys have your own careers that are bubbling and going over after the pandemic is now kind of opening. What's going on now?
Well, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I produce a show called The Mars Variety Show.com. Please check it out, subscribe. It's inspired by the variety shows of the 60s and 70s, designed to boost the independent musician and comedian in Nashville. And I'm also still doing I'm acting, I'm auditioning. I did all the stuff I'm booking I can't talk about because of like NDAs, but there's a straight to VOD superhero animated thing that's happening. There's a toy thing that's happening, and that's about it at the moment.
Cool.
Well, Goofy's keeping me pretty busy after 34 years. It's not slowing down. With pandemic, I have a studio at home, and I've been doing a show, Mickey's Fun House, which is on the Mickey Mouse Shorts, called The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse on Disney+. I have a live-action show called It's a Dog's Life with Bill Farmer that I executive produced and starred in on Disney+. And anything else that they need with the Goof or anyone else, I'm for hire.
Perfect. Awesome.
I think we already went over me.
And then I was working video for a long time, and then I've switched over to industrial design, so focusing on product design, and so I do a lot more CAD work, but it's interesting to go where I also do 3D modeling and CAD modeling, which most people would think is the same thing because you end up with a 3D model, but they're completely different mindsets on how you go about creating the model. And and so it's fun to I use both of my worlds when modeling, and because I come up with the realistic renders for our products at work. But I'll pull stuff from like Blender, 3D models I've created there. I'll do all the cabling and stuff so it looks much more organic. And then I take our CAD models of our products and I'm able to throw it all together and make really great renders. And even I've even had cables like animate moving, and so I've been able to help us step up our game when it comes to like our renders on Amazon and other places.
Yeah. I just decided I also will be giving them my resume.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, Rotoscopers is still going great. We've got the podcast. You can check it out. Go to rotoscopers.com if you want to find any other information about Ted's videos as well. And thanks for joining us today. Thank you guys for,
Thank you.
It's
for
our
doing
pleasure.
this with me. And
Thank you guys.
everybody's happy now. Like,
It went by too fast.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure there were more shots of Max in this scene. No, I can't wait to see it. Oh, I was asked, so how long is it going to take?
Probably another month and a half at the minimum, 2 months.
Also depending if we're going to get Kevin.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So reach out.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll send a message.
We're willing to go to him.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know you have your regular day job. So is this like time dedicated like once a week?
Yeah, like usually I'll get home in the evenings and be like, oh, I'm not doing anything else. All right, let's
work on it. Dude.
And it is like it's like find your zone of genius where you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to go to bed. I want to work on this.
Sure.
Like, I at the beginning of modeling it, I did like the stage and everything in like 2 weeks. And I'd find myself being like, 3 a.m. again?
Is that you know you're doing what you should be doing?
I'm excited because we'll actually be putting the render of
behind us?
Behind us,
that'd
yes.
be perfect.
So we'll be in Lester's Possum Farm.
Perfect. And you don't have to light the green screen. I noticed. Like you don't have to hot the green screen.
And get rid of the wrinkles. If you can work with it in that.
A lot of the software today is extremely intelligent on detecting.
Yeah, so you don't have to have it lit perfectly or it gets off or anything.
Yeah, like I'm blown away many times where I just put the filter on it once and how much it cleans up. I'm like, I don't have to
before you
tweak.
even touch anything, like just auto.
I remember agonizing over like FCP before 10. It's like, it's just now there's weird little stuff over here.
And the thing is, cameras more and more are just having the better color space. Whereas, like the first camera test we did with this, like we had the camera and we went and like it was having a hard time with the folds, and we swapped out to a newer camera and just super clean. And it's like, all right, we're using that camera, no question.
Outstanding.
So I've got a question as voice actors. Most people, when I talk to them, they're like, I always hate hearing my voice on recordings. Do you feel the same, or do you feel like your voice is your voice when you hear it recorded?
That's why I like to change my voice. I don't have to hear myself. The hardest part is that we don't sound the same to ourselves as when you're doing a tape. So I was trying to learn voices and characters by listening back, not by, I get the way it feels when I do it, but it doesn't necessarily translate. You got to hear it back and then adjust according to the tape. So, I got to push that more, or maybe a higher voice would be better. And hearing for me is better.
I don't mostly focus on the sound of my voice and the performance of it, and I like listening to myself. I enjoy it. Either push myself or. It's part of me still can't believe I've been doing this as long as I have been.
And it's all about the acting. I mean, there's so many people that don't have a wide variety of voices, but they're great actors, and that's what counts.
Yep. When you were little kids, were you wanting to be actors, or did you?
I did. When I was a little kid, I was in the middle of Kansas, and there's no outlet for that kind of stuff at all. But it was always with me. I always loved going to the movies and watching cartoons and stuff, but never thinking that it would actually occur. And so I was about 35 before I even got out to Hollywood. And luckily, Goofy was my first big audition out there. So
really, wow.
And I go, I should have done this years ago. But I just got lucky, right place, right time. And Goofy was my favorite Disney character, so I practiced the voice and stuff. And who knew?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many actors there are. I've heard there's 160,000 SAG members in L.A., and they're all potential people trying out for the same jobs, So if you do 1 out of 100 auditions, you're doing fine, because it's just there's that many great people that are doing this.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Wow.
Well, Jason, you started out in TV, right? And then at what point in time did you decide I'd rather do voice acting?
It was never a decision. I've actually been doing voice acting when I started acting. I was 12. And my agent just sent me out for everything. And I did commercials and TV. My first cartoon was Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears, and I was 12.
Sweet.
they were recording DuckTales up the hallway. And I don't know if it was like a conscious decision, but like my on-camera career, I think it was shifting, and I was just booking more voiceovers, so I just went on that train instead.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like a river; it just takes you where it wants to go.
Exactly.
And when it comes with money, you follow.
You follow it.
Yes. You're working every day, and the odds of booking were up at the time. So yeah, totally. As far as when I was a kid, I'd watch Nickelodeon and want to be do all those shows. I just never thought. I'm from Rhode Island originally, but I never thought that I would get the opportunity to do it until we moved to California.
And your parents just decide to move for you, or for?
No, my dad was a ballet teacher, so we got a gig teaching ballet at Fullerton College. And then while we were there, people were like, "Oh, your son's cute. You get him in acting."
Yeah.
My mom went, "Cha-ching! What a great idea! Come on, you could do this." So that was the driving force, and I'm just like, "Okay, let's do it."
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you try to get your son into acting? Or?
It's funny. It's just so weird because kids are just born with phones in their hands these days.
Yeah.
He's so self-aware. Like, he was terrified about coming here today.
Really?
About doing this. I'm like, dude, it's not. Trust me, it's fine.
Yeah,
we're working on
you got to be kind of wacky to want to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to be able to jump in.
Yeah. And I was saying I got to put a bill over here on a shelf while I do whatever. I can't worry about how it's coming off. It takes up your mind doing that when you should be thinking about the character and just be in the character.
1,000%.
And if you can, I always tell students that when I teach that most important thing, and I learned this in stand-up, is entertain yourself. You can't guarantee you're going to entertain me, but there's more of a chance if you entertain yourself, they'll be entertained too.
Yeah, 1,000%.
I feel like you have to be a bit of an entrepreneur in your heart to be an actor or in the arts, whether you realize it or not, because you are not living the day-to-day life of I have a job, I go in, clock out. And so you have to have a little bit more of this is what I'm doing for me and this is how I'm doing it. And whether you realize it or not, I feel like that's kind of where you're at.
Yeah, you need 2 jobs, and I always tell people, what do you need to get into voiceover? And I say, get rich parents. You're going to need that money when you get going. It's tough. It's very competitive.
I see what you're saying. I think most actors need to have that. That was, I don't want to get political, but like frustrating me about our union is that so many of our members are so hesitant to take a risk or stand up for things that we need to believe in because they don't want to ruffle feathers. Right. They don't want to lose jobs. Because they don't want to. They can't pay their rent or their car payment. I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be in this business. The rug can be pulled out from under you at any time. At any time.
Yeah.
You've been goofy for so long, but there's no contract that says that.
I'm not a Disney employee. No. I'm like the plumber. It's like we come in, I do a job and go home. Yeah. Every job's a new contract.
No way. Every time they want Goofy, it's like a new contract.
No way. Like we mentioned earlier, like Warner Brothers will. They don't seem to recast whatnot. Disney will stick with their people. He's an official legend. So there's that aspect to it. But as far as a business.
Do they have to?
No, they don't.
They could use someone else tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you want to play Goofy till the end of time?
I love doing it. People always say, "Why don't you retire?" And I say, "Retire to what? Right. I get to do stuff like this. It's fun."
Dick Van Dyke is 95, and he's like, when can I go on another stage? Like he's
Really?
Yeah.
Performers don't give up, I don't think, unless they have to.
Yeah. So my parents in the Valley owned a Western dinner theater that I grew up performing at for my entire life.
That must have been fun.
It was. So it was semi-similar to Lester's Possum Farm on that side. Everybody's on benches, everybody's watching the stage. But I like to hope that we were a lot better than Lester's. But, not to toot my own horn,
I'm sure, I have a feeling maybe you were.
But that is something that for them, like they traveled around for 13 years in a rock and roll band for years, and they just decided, I want to settle down. They had 3 kids at the time, and then they decided they built off of a 7-acre plot of land a giant western town, and people would come in and we would perform for them. It was an all-you-can-eat barbecue beef and chicken dinner and all the things. And then, but yeah, it took them like 35 years and lots of things changing to be able to be like, okay, I guess we can move on to the next step. But it was like kicking and screaming. They would not have let go if it was not forced.
Good for them.
Yeah, it's like the real work of this is auditioning. It's the reward is the work.
Wow, yeah.
Except you don't get paid for the
auditioning. Yeah, that's the problem.
Has that ever happened where you're like, wait, that was just an audition, why are you using it? Or
no, they can't do that.
No, they can't do that. You got to pay you. I've had stuff lifted, but I don't think I've ever auditioned.
No, that's a no-no.
That is a no-no. But I've certainly had stuff like I remember there was a commercial with Pluto in it, and Pluto just bit a bubble. It was like for some bubble toy or something, and like that. And I heard that, and I said, well, that's a voiceover, but I don't remember doing that. And I started getting checks.
Oh.
And they just lifted it off something Disney had. But they did the paperwork right.
There you go.
So it wasn't a problem then.
No, that wasn't a problem. Once the checks are coming, that's okay.
All right. Go for it. Less work for me.
That's the kind of jobs you like.
It makes you think of D. Bradley Baker. We met him at D23, and he does the voice of Perry the Platypus. Mm-hmm. And we also asked him about other characters he's done, and he said that for other shows he goes in and does a new recording for every single episode. He said he's done one recording for Perry, like walked into the studio, made that noise,
they just
and
made
walked
a little
out.
library of sounds.
It's the exact same recording every time.
And then he gets paid per episode.
Yep.
That's a dream job, man.
10 minutes of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
God, I miss that
super
guy.
talented.
Yeah, he's
does
great.
all the different clones. Like, he does so much.
If everyone asks about, like, how do I get into voiceover, I direct them to his website. He made a website called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com.
And it answers questions that everyone should know before they jump into this.
Yeah.
It is cool.
Russie Taylor.
Yes.
Am I saying her name right?
Yep.
When she died, we're sitting around. The kids are playing. We got a 4-year-old. She was 3 at the time. 3 little girl. And I'm like, oh, the voice of Minnie Mouse died, and she was about to crack. Like,
your 3-year-old?
Minnie Mouse died.
Oh yeah.
I was like, no. Minnie Mouse didn't die.
Ran into her room.
Her good friend.
Put on her Minnie Mouse hat, put on a Minnie Mouse shirt, and pulled all of. She has like 3 or 4 Minnie Mouse dolls. She pulled them all out, and she walked out to us and was like, I have Minnie Mouse. Like, she's not dead.
We got to do an event where they flew us and all the other voice actors, Wayne and Russie, Mickey and Donald and Susan Blakesley.
No, it's Blakesley.
Who's
Cruella.
Yeah. And we're promoting something, and then they bring us into the Disney radio booth, and for fun we're going on the radio. We're just improvising, and do you remember this? And you're Pluto, you're doing and Mickey and Minnie are there, and Cruella's being Cruella, like, oh, Pluto, I'm going to turn you into a jacket. Yeah. So we go off the air, and we're laughing because we know we're a bunch of clever actors, and then the DJ calls us. She's like, there's a little girl who's crying because she thinks that Cruella's going to murder Pluto. And Russie...
It was me crying.
Yeah. Russie, without missing a beat, she's like, I got this. So go back on the air, and then Russie, as Minnie, is talking to this little girl on the air, saying like, oh, hey, don't you worry about Pluto's right here, and Pluto's barking, and Cruella's right here, and Cruella's, she's really got a good heart, and explaining in a way, just put the girl at ease. All of us were just crying.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that's like Russie was so earnest, so talented.
She and Wayne were Mickey and Minnie. They were not married when I started. They were married to other people. They were both in bad marriages, but they fell in love doing the job. both got divorced and then married. And they were.
Minnie got married?
Yeah, they didn't want that out there. They thought it took away from the characters and didn't want it to be the big thing. So they kept that pretty much a secret.
But he'd do interviews. He'd have a little ukulele, and they'd have songs they'd work on together. Like it was the most. My treasured moments is like getting to watch them do their thing.
Oh,
yeah.
That's really sweet.
Well, where was the verdict on lunch? I did not. Days like this, I can't have breakfast because I'm too nervous.
Yeah.
So
you're probably ravished right now. There was some talk about a pizza place with an obnoxious organ.
Yeah.
That doesn't open till 4.
Oh, okay.
Well.
And
we'll go there anyway.
And and I think we had to have you at the airport at 4. But there was a mention of deep dish pizza. There's
That's great.
Oregano's, Oregon, or
Oregano's, and they got a whole range of things, and so I think that's great.
Sounds good. Continue the combo that way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you again, and I'm finally glad finally to get to talk to you.
Same.
Don't you want to be hanging from a tree? We're mighty glad to see you, and the parking's always free here at Lester's.
You've been listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and be sure to leave us a 5-star review. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want to help spread the word, be sure to share the podcast with your friends on social media. Just don't forget to tag us at Rotoscopers on Instagram and use the hashtag Animation Addicts. For all the links and full show notes for this episode, go to rotoscopers.com/podcast. Now, if you still can't get enough for your animation fix, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and visit rotoscopers.com for more animation news, reviews, and interviews. Thanks for listening.